Welcome to the I Am the Creator podcast, a space where you get curated and well-researched information to guide and walk with you as you create your own world. As creators, we only have one philosophy, that everybody has the power to create their own world. It's simply a matter of how and when. So stay locked in and watch out for regular uploads on this channel. You should also join the Creators Club by subscribing to our weekly newsletter and joining the WhatsApp creator community to align yourself with others creating their own world. As the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. So see you there. Is today Giving Friday, or it's just in my head that it's Giving Friday? Because today is like Friday vibes. I was at the office as usual, and the more I continued staying there, the more I continued feeling sleepy. And at some point, I was just like, I might as well as go home. Fortunately for me, I can do that. I can transfer my work from the office to home. If you can do that, must be nice, because it is indeed very nice. Anyway, upon getting home, I'm opening my laptop and then I'm looking at my work and I'm like, what is going on? You know what I'm working on right now? Let me tell you a little bit of what we do actually. So the company's name is called Zazu Manufacturing Limited. You can definitely check our website. Our main agenda is to innovate around management of textile waste. And so far, so good. We've managed to make fiber-reinforced concrete products. And the list is long. I will tell you the list another day. Anyway, now, after doing all of this, there is need for research to be done to actually assess the value of, not the value, the different parameters that you consider. If you're a scientist, you know. If you're a construction worker, you know what I'm talking about. If it's none of this, well, I'm sure there is parameters in every other sector. Anyway, so there is need to do this particular research, and it is very much as academic as it sounds like. And on one hand, I can relate to the chemistry bit of it, because alas, chemistry is everywhere. On the other hand, I'm trying to learn the construction bit of it, because I'm not an engineer. I didn't do engineering at any point. But their foundation needs to be laid so that the chemistry can come in. And again, no problem with chemistry. Definitely there is a problem with engineering, because if I wanted to be an engineer, I might as well could have studied engineering. And you may be wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I learning all of this? It's because the company is still a startup. Unless one of you wants to give me just 500k USD, that is. I will easily get a very recent graduate, because, the more these people get experience in the market, the more expensive they become. And again, the company is still a startup. So you have to bootstrap your money, you have to bootstrap your skills, you have to upskill very, very quickly. I, for one, can tell you the skills I had last year around this time and the skills I have this year right now. It's a different Brenda altogether. So if you knew me then, and chances are very high if you're listening to me, you definitely knew me. So, and if you knew me then and now, you can attest. You can attest there is a kind of change in terms of even how I talk about everything these days. One of you once told me that I sound more sure of myself these days compared to the first few days. And yeah, that comment has never left me till now, because I think that's very, very true. I think it's very, very true. And it makes me excited to see what is going to happen a year from now. That in itself is a major milestone for me, because I was done living. So if you are done living at some point, or you are feeling as though it's time to put a full stop to your life, I will tell you, things change. Vindu vichenjanga, as we say in my native tongue. If you're a lawyer, if you don't, well, now you know. It's called Vindu. You say it as Vindu vichenjanga. Things change. Okay? That being said, back to the conversation. So I was trying to read all of these things. I'm looking at my computer I'm looking at everybody else in the office. Everybody looks serious. And I was just yawning after yawning after yawning after yawning. I was like, hey, I see a must, by the way. I might as well as take this laptop, pack it, and go home. Because I know that there are days when I do an all-nighter. Because, again, running a startup is freaking difficult. Yo. Let me repeat in case you didn't hear it. Running a startup is very difficult. It will definitely make you go through things, but something again for sure for certain is by the time you've gone through a whole bunch of things in the startup world or in the startup scene, you develop a kind of thickness, a kind of flexibility, durability. It expands your mind to what is possible and what is not possible. And I think this one, I'll talk about it again in a whole ass episode on its own, because very many lessons have been learned. I think when we get to next month, on March, that is March 2025, it would have been exactly 1 year ever since I came to Rwanda to do crazy things. And again, so far, so good. It definitely killed me a couple of times. I remember, I don't know if I told you this story, but I remember I have been saved by now I almost told you too much TMI. Okay, let me not tell you the TMI. Let us continue. Just know I died a couple of times. But then, alas, we live to see another day. Anyway, 500k, it will allow me to not start learning about engineering things. Because now when I was learning about it, I was just yawning, felt like dozing off, figured I might as well as exchange my environment. So I came back home, and as always, I sat down, I looked at my laptop, I opened it again, and I was now telling myself, focus, focus. What do you do to focus, by the way? Because focusing is a serious thing. And it's only until way later in one of my psychiatry sessions that the doctor was like, by the way, Brenda, nobody expects you to focus for 2 hours straight. Like if you just do 30 minutes of focus and then you take a 5 minutes break and then another 30 minutes, it's much more effective and productive for you as opposed to doing a full-blown 2 hours. Now, that being said, who the fuck came up with the timetables back in school? Heck, even in campus, because sometimes we just had crazy hours. You'd find a teacher is coming to teach for 2 hours straight and you're like, bro, dude. And it could be the most either difficult thing, because again, if you've done biochemistry, you shout out to you, because there's some things in biochemistry we used to learn and I'm like, what is going on? Why are we learning these things? Why are we learning these things? And you remember the chemical equations and the molarity and moles, organic chemistry back in high school. That was like the easy stuff. Because now there is, again, biochemistry. And in biochemistry, you realize there is 3 kinds of photosynthesis. Heck, even 4. And each of those 4 have different, several chemical formulas, and you have to balance them. And then there is something called the TCA cycle. The Krebs cycle. If you know, you know. Again, if you don't, must be nice. I'm pretty sure in whatever it is that you learned, there is something else that you're just going through and you're like, what the fuck? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Anyway, fast forward to, sasa nimesahau my train of thought. I've completely forgotten my train of thought. I have remembered. So I sit down and look at my PC and I'm like, no, it's not happening. It's not happening, Brenda. So I pick my phone and I open LinkedIn. Speaking of which, are you on LinkedIn? Because me, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn. Brenda Viola. It's the same name everywhere. Okay? Anyway, so I open my LinkedIn and I'm just scrolling. And LinkedIn can give you a lot of pressure because now I'm just scrolling. I'm seeing my friend is doing something. I'm like, hello, okay, good for you. I scroll a little bit. Another friend has won money for their company, for their startup. I'm like, hey, this is good for you. Kidogo, you scroll. Another one was featured on TV. And I'm like, brav, dude, how did you even get on TV? At what point? I thought we were... But alas, they're on TV. You scroll a little bit, like for a minute there, it felt as though on this Tuesday that is giving Friday in my head that I'm at home, I should be out there grinding and working. And no, I figured I might as well as come and sit and talk to you, because as I always tell you, you help me go through things. So I was scrolling on LinkedIn and I'm like, okay, people are doing amazing, amazing things here. But we have to agree that it kind of makes you look at yourself and your progress and go, There is this statement people like to say, don't compare yourself. Me, I compare. Me, I will compare, and not in a I want your life kind of way, because now there's some people who are like that. And the comparison I'm talking about is of seeing and understanding like what actually is possible in this life. Because I know we talk about creating your world, but here's the thing: if you haven't seen the world that you have created, then you'll be that you can create, then you'll be limited to how it is you're gonna create it, whatever it is you're gonna ask for. Because who knows, there is no freaking limit when it comes to God, when it comes to the creator, when it comes to the universe, when it comes to the madness that you can tap into to create your own world. But if you do not gallivant from here to there, if you do not scroll through LinkedIn and you see what people can actually achieve, then you'll be limited to thinking that your dreams are way too big. And there is always this saying of, if you happen to be the smartest in the room, then you're in the wrong room. I completely fuck with that. I want to be the most dumb person there is in the room. Because now, okay, kidogo tu nirudie statement. Let me paraphrase that statement, because it doesn't sound right. Yeah, one thing about me, I know I'm smart, but I know I can be stupid. You know how we say words are spells? You have to be very careful. And these are things that this is a podcast that is going to be live for a long time. Let me paraphrase. I do not want to be the smartest person in a room. Also not the opposite. But heck, if it is a room of 5, let me at least be number 3. Number 3 is number 4 smartest person out of the 5. And even I shouldn't give number 5 a huge range. You get that way there is like the chance for me to learn from everybody else around me, and also so that I don't have to talk too much. If you're smart and people around you and in the room, they know you're smart, now they're going to be talking to you a lot. And like, no, I don't want to talk a lot. Like I can give a 1-hour podcast, but after that, the next 23 hours of my day, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. And that is the same energy I carry into group conversations that I find myself in. If you relate, you relate. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, now you know. Back to the story. Fast forward to, again, my life right now. As I'm doing engineering things, I always find myself in a situation whereby I don't know shit. There's some things I find out and I'm like, who would have even thought this is a consideration in this particular facet of work that I'm doing right now? And it really humbles me. It humbles me, but there is one thing I've learned to say, which is, I don't know. Emergency Jui, I don't know, but give me 2 hours, I'll give you an answer. And that used to bug me a lot, because now I was fearful if I say I don't know, that it's going to affect how the trajectory of the whole process. And these days I'm just like, I don't know. If it affects the trajectory, well, it was never meant to be. And it's okay, because it's, at the end of the day, you don't need everybody to say yes to you. You don't need every door to open for you. You just need that one door to open, that one connection, that one network. So the more you gallivant, the more you scroll through different places on social media, whether it's TikTok or LinkedIn, the more you get to see the chance of what truly you can achieve. And I believe that gives you a kind of balls and audacity to create your world, as I was talking about in the previous episode, and also make it fun. Like make it fun. If you're a religious person, or rather according to the Christians, they talk about how you are the children of God and blah blah blah, or you deserve all of these good things. It's right now. It's in this waking life, not according to how the people preach it. You know what I'm talking about. Not in the afterlife, but in this current life that you're going about, you actually deserve nice things. So how do you know what is nice if you do not expose yourself? And in the process of exposing yourself and seeing all of these things, exposure is a very important thing, yeah? Now, in the process of doing that, there should be a comparison that is happening. Yeah? That is the kind of comparison I'm talking about. So each time I hear someone says, don't compare, the grass is never greener, owada, kidogo tu. You have to be objective and ask yourself questions of, okay, the grass is not greener on the other side, fine, but what is happening on the other side? Sometimes, okay, because now if you're doing it way too much, then you're just in other people's business, and unless you're a producer of a reality show, you have no business being in other people's business. Or even those ones take a break from time to time, especially after a season has come to an end. Have you guys watched Young, Famous and African? I saw I'm laughing before I tell you the joke. I saw a meme on the internet that that was talking about how the producers of this show are gaslighting us into believing that the actors are actually young. These people, they should change. They should remove young from the list and maybe say adult, because young is giving. An example they used as well was this actress called Ini Edo. Now, people like myself grew up watching Ini Edo. The Afro cinema, the Nollywood films, left, right, and center, with other actors like Patience Uzokor, Tonto DK, Van Vika. You guys remember it? You don't know Nollywood actors or actress? Which world are you living on? We grew up watching these things, and around that time they were actually young. So right now, if we are the young ones, and then what's going on? The math is not mathing. The math is not mathing. Anyway, I watched that particular show, season 1, season 2, season 3. I love being in people's business like that. Like, if there is a good reality TV show, sign me up. And not like all of them, because now there is this reality TV show of Love Island. I've just watched it sparingly, and sparingly was like, I happened to be in the same room with a sister or a friend or a lover. Maybe it was one of those days, Do you, Jay, wewe uko na mtu? Valentine is coming. Where is your boyfriend? Where is your girlfriend? You are sitting alone, lonely. That. I think that is another viral meme from Western Africa. Yeah, Nigeria would be most likely. Nigeria most likely. Anyway, I used to watch those things, and fast forward to today, these are the same people who are being brought to the reality show, and then it's called Young, Famous, and Zari, for another example. Now people are just catching strays. One of her sons is like 18 or 19, right? Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord. I grew up in a Catholic school for some point. At some point, I studied in a Catholic school, and we used to memorize and rehearse all of these verses from time to time. And it's only fast forward to when I was decolonizing Christianity that I happened to actually, it hit me how much conditioning was being implanted on my brain. Because if there is one thing about your brain, is it's very ductile. It's because of this property it has of neuroplasticity, meaning it can form new neurological pathways, or it can get rid of old ones, or at least the ones that are not being used frequently. So yeah. Now, the more you activate a major neurological pathway, the more it becomes ingrained to your whole body. Remember when we talked about how you as a being, you have 3 minds. There is the mind that is in your cranium, that is number 1, and then there's the mind that is your body, number 2, and then there's the mind that is your spirit, number 3, aka your intuition. This is the emotional body of it. Now, all of these minds work together. The more you activate a certain neurological pathway in your brain, and that could be something like, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all of the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever, amen. I didn't even have to remember, but I have said it so many times. I said it so many times growing up, to the point where it's just there. Another one is like John 3:16. For God so loved the world. Look at yourself. Probably you can finish it. You probably you can finish it. Anyway, I think it's safe to say at this point, I have nothing else to add for this particular episode. This one was just a yapping session because I was scrolling through LinkedIn and there I was like, Allah, should I be working? Instead, I decided to come and talk to you for a little bit. Okay, think of this as a voice note. A voice note from your friend who is a podcaster, okay? Until the next one, I hope you have an amazing time. And find me on LinkedIn so that we can be stressed together. What?